of topics that truly defines the several parameters that govern the day after the pandemic. I believe that we have already at hand various different views and positions which have been framed by yesterday's dialogue and will be framed also by today's dialogue, which will contribute to the development of sustainable and developmental policies for a sector that determines far more than any other the lives of us. So what have been the conclusions of yesterday? First, that the global vision for a sustainable healthcare system has to go through cooperation among the different stakeholders of the healthcare system, the full integration of innovation and technology, the continuous provision of incentives for research and development, but also the substantial information given to citizens so that they can understand that by showing trust in science is the cornerstone for the protection of human life. Second, the health industry plays a very important role in the new productive model of the country, and we have the obligation to seize the opportunity so as to make the most of the investments that have already been activated for the coming years, promoting the modernization of infrastructure and processes at all levels of the healthcare system. Third, the upgrading of the healthcare system and the attraction of investments goes through substantial reforms that will create the conditions for recovery and resilience. In that context, the Recovery Fund constitutes a platform that is able to shape a very positive prospect for the future. And last but not least, healthcare in Greece after the pandemic is now in a course of accelerated changes when it comes to staff, infrastructure and services. We saw the healthcare staff of the country operating and working as a team and constituting a shield of protection, and this fills us with courage and optimism for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the dialogue that we had yesterday shows that we are now mature and ready to talk and to understand the level of preparedness of the country, the needs that will arise the day after the pandemic, and the tools that need to be used. And it is important to summarize in 4 sentences the intention of the Ministry of Health for the support of the healthcare system, but also of the primary healthcare, based on the available funds, the synergies between private and public sector, with the integration in the healthcare system of the best practices that can be identified in the private sector, the intention and willingness to make all the necessary changes when it comes to bureaucracy, especially in hospitals, so as to finally be able to attract far more clinical trials in our country. Reduction of clawback, which is also a commitment of ours, which has to be finished by 2025. 4 points which are of primary importance in the context of the effort we are making for an update and modernization of the national healthcare system. Today, in the context of the second day of the conference, we will have the opportunity to widen the agenda, but also to focus on an equally substantial and constructive dialogue with regard to mental health, which is a basic parameter and priority for the governments around the world. We're going to talk about the importance of digitalization, of social insurance, which constitutes a basic pillar of the reform of the national healthcare system. Ladies and gentlemen, World Health Forum proves for the last 25 years the reason why it has always been one of the most iconic conferences, bringing around the table of dialogue all those stakeholders that define the developments and shape the perspective in the field of health. Last but not least, I would like to wish all the success to the works of the second day of our conference, and I would like to warmly thank all those who took part in the perfect organization of the conference. And I would like now to invite the President of the Medical Devices Committee, Mr. Theodore Liakopoulos. But before I give you the floor, Theodore, I would like to wish happy name day to all the gyms and to Thessaloniki that is celebrating today.